Hello, everyone. We are very happy to be back. It's been 10 years.
It's been so long.
It's officially 2025. I think that's very weird. I keep saying like last year as if it was 2023.
hmm
So we went on a cruise for Christmas, and I think that actually was like a time capsule or time warps.
Yeah.
And now I don't understand that it's 2025 yet.
Yes. And I also am brunette.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yep.
my God.
It's more like red in person, but it looks really dark on any camera. I love it. I'm feeling my best self.
I am a bit uncomfortable if you're watching me on YouTube. I feel like I look like I'm giving furry, like a kitty cat ears. So I promise I did not become a furry while we were on break. But yeah, so we haven't talked to you guys since November,
hmm
which literally feels like years ago. We went to Thanksgiving together in Belanding. That was super cute. And then I went to Vienna right after that. I don't think I
hmm
told any of you guys that, but if you follow me on social media, you saw that. I went to Vienna and then I came straight back. We had a girls' Christmas, which was like the
So
best
fun.
thing.
Yeah, so fun.
We went to this wine bar downtown. If you live in Salt Lake City or anywhere like up in Salt Lake, Utah County area, and you like wine, you
Or
have
Cache Valley, you guys can drive down. Yeah.
that's true because you guys have a wine bar that's not even close to this wine bar,
Yeah,
for sure.
true, true.
And it's dope. So we had our girls' Christmas there, which is always the highlight of our year, I would say.
I for sure.
Yeah,
I for sure like it's definitely the highlight of like,
the holiday season
yes,
too.
it's so fun. We've been doing it for 3 years now.
Longer than that.
It's been a while, and now it's like trending all over social media because we do a favorite things. We were the originals, okay?
Okay, we were not, but we started off having it at like Red Rock Brewery and
Uh-huh.
Slackwater. And
Yeah,
now we've
yeah.
elevated to this wine bar and it's fucking dope.
It was so fun. Me and our friend Tanya got a hotel downtown for us to like get ready, and I just didn't want to have to worry about like Ubers or anything. And that was honestly probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. It was
Yeah.
so fun to just have a hotel, and we all got ready there. We had pre-drinks there. It was right behind the Gallivan Center in Salt Lake, and it was just really fun.
Yeah, I didn't sleep over, but we did go there. I went there before we left, and then also afterwards when we were like all kind of tipsy and the wine bar was closing, we went there and like fucked around a little bit, and that was so fun. Next year I'm for sure sleeping over.
hmm
I had just gotten back from Vienna like the day before, and I think
hmm
that that's was why I also didn't sleep over. But that was a good decision.
It was so fun. And we just dressed up really nice and the gifts were so cute. It was
Yeah.
so fun.
So if you haven't done a favorite things party, like what we do, there's different versions trending on the internet, but what we do is like, so there's only usually like five or six of us. So I mean, there's definitely a bit of presents that you buy, but we buy five or six, however many people there are besides yourself of the same present. And then so I would make five of the same present if we had six people, right?
hmm
And then same for everyone else. And then you exchange that, you give one of those to everyone else, and then you also receive that. And it's like just some of your favorite things or something you want to gift people. I always just like throw things in there that are like things I love. Like I put Alka-Seltzer in mine. I love
Yeah,
fucking Alka-Seltzer, and you
she
know that
does.
shit comes in clutch. Whenever someone needs it, they're grateful for it.
On the cruise, which we'll get there, everyone took their Alka-Seltzer.
Facts. So it's really cute idea. Other people do different versions. You could search them on the internet, but I think I mean, we thought about changing ours because we were like, do we want to just do it at home and like be cozy? But we love getting dressed up. Like girls
Mhm.
don't get dressed up enough, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's fucking dope.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And then also after that, it was Christmas. And then
hmm
we went on our Christmas New Year's Eve cruise, which was to the Bahamas. Never been.
So fun.
Cruises are something else,
Yeah.
honestly. I
Yeah.
would say I did enjoy, we went on a cruise, like a group cruise two
Two
years
years ago.
ago,
Yeah.
with Norwegian, and there was parts of it that I missed, like the wine tastings, the
hmm
classier versions of Norwegian. I missed some of that on the Carnival cruise. But honestly, this cruise was so good. My son and his best friend came, and that was like the fucking highlight of the
They
trip.
really made the trip.
Yeah.
They really did.
If they weren't there, it would have been a lot more boring.
Honestly, they were so fun. And the fact that like Shelby's niece slash my niece is old enough to go clubbing too. So going
Yeah.
clubbing with the three of them for like their first time,
Yeah.
it was honestly so fun.
Yeah, Taylor and I specifically,
We
like,
rallied.
I would say, here's the thing that I struggle with. People for sure went to bed early, which I get.
Mhm.
Like 100%, I would normally want to do that same thing. I go to sleep at like 9 o'clock every night, anyways. But like when it's time to show up, you got to show up.
Yeah, we always show every night. Every
We,
night we did.
Taylor and I will always continue to show up. That's just kind of maybe it's a Leo thing. I don't
Yeah.
know. But like everyone would just be like, yeah, we'll come to the club. And then they never came to the club.
Yep. Because in the club, we are all fam.
We are all fam.
And there were even nights that I was like definitely like falling asleep on the booths a little bit in the club.
Yeah.
Like I need to take a second and close my eyes for 5 minutes. But I was not going to let these three kids not have the funnest time of their life for
There was a
sure.
night that Taylor stayed up till 3 a.m.
Yeah, that was New Year's Eve. Bless you.
I'm gonna sneeze. If you know anything about me, I don't actually let my sneezes out, so you won't hear them. But yeah, Taylor stayed up till 3 a.m. one night. They shut down the club.
Oh, that was our first night actually. That wasn't even New Year's. No, it was 3:45.
They went and got
3:45.
chicken nugs,
Yeah.
chicken tens.
We shut down the club, me, Jaden, and Sam. We shut down the club. We got chicken nugs. I honestly, I don't recall a lot of it. I don't recall.
Anyways, the cruise was fun. We went to Bimini as our first stop, the beach, the ocean.
So beautiful.
By far the most beautiful
Mhm.
ocean water I've ever seen.
And warm.
Yeah, and the beach too. Like we found like a secluded little area. Conch shells everywhere. They were so cute. My son and his friend got a little too fucked up off of Four Locos, which like bless up to them for going on that journey because that shit everyone should experience at least once if you're a drinker.
And thank goodness they had people to take care of
Yeah,
them
like-
because they were unwell.
I would prefer that they do things like that when I don't know, people are around to help make sure they're okay. But then
Mhm.
also, when I was 19, I had no one supporting me in
Yeah.
these decisions. I was for sure doing the same things, 100%.
And illegally in the Bahamas, it was completely legal.
Yeah.
That's why we were all kind of like, you guys live your best life. Like,
Yeah.
we'll make sure you're all right.
Yeah, like they could go to any store and buy whatever they wanted, which
Mhm.
was such a trip to me. It was hard as a mom being like, all right, just like breathe through it. Like it's gonna be okay. But honestly, the trip, I was at the witch doctor this
Mhm.
week, and she was like asking me about the trip, and she's like, so was there good stuff about the trip? Because like obviously there was some stuff that wasn't good. And I was like, honestly, the best thing that happened is my son went and we don't get a lot of bonding time, and that
Mhm.
bonding experience that I think that him and I had
So
will
beautiful.
will
Yeah.
change forever the rest of our like relationship. It was
Yeah.
already growing into a beautiful place, and that solidified it, and like I will be forever grateful for
Make
that.
me cry.
And like people can judge me. There's people that definitely are judging me for allowing him to drink and supporting this and whatever, but like I feel very confident in
I
what
do too.
happened.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think from my end as well, like I've known Jaden for a very long time.
Since the
Sorry if
beginning.
you don't want to say his name on here, but I've known him for a really long time, and that trip with him was something that was so special for me. So I can't even imagine what it feels like for you because
Yeah.
it was a whole different version of him that I've never seen before, and I just love him so much,
And he's
truly.
like a good kid. Like
He really is.
he's like experiencing life,
Mhm.
but like honestly, I was doing the same things.
Yeah.
Wally was doing the same things.
Yeah.
And like I for sure had more responsibilities at the time. Like I'd pay my
Mhm.
own rent and shit. But like for sure fucking around and finding out.
Yeah.
Still
And
to this day, fucking around and finding out.
another one of my favorite memories with them, our first night, because we went to Tampa a day early and then stayed a day late in Tampa.
I almost forgot about
Yeah, and him and his friend rented a convertible Mustang, and they were so excited to take me and Shelby for a ride to take us to Target. And it was like the highlight of their day. They were like, "Can we go for a ride?" Like they were texting Shelby all day, like, "Are you guys ready? Can we go? Can we go?" And they like put on Justin Bieber music and took us on a ride to Target, and it was so fun. It
Yeah.
was so adorable.
And it was so fucking windy. My hair, I had just washed it that day, and the wind thrashed it around so much I couldn't even brush through it. I had to even wash it again the next day. And even after double conditionering, I still had knots. It was insane.
It was, but it was such a beautiful memory.
It was so fun. I have a video from like again, time warps or time lapse. Like I can't understand what happens when I went on that trip.
Yeah.
It was really confusing because we left the day after Christmas, and so Christmas happened, and then suddenly we're on this like trip, and when
Mhm.
you're on a boat, you're also, I don't know, like
Time doesn't
yeah,
exist. It
it's
really doesn't.
so
So
strange.
weird.
And then we came back and it was the new year, and that was even more crazy.
But we got back on a Friday, so we still had like days at home before we went back to work. Like I was so confused about time. Like I
Yeah.
just didn't
This is
understand.
kind of how I feel when I travel to Vienna, that when I go to Europe, like I
Mhm.
remember coming back and being like, what has gone on in life? And shit went down with Diddy, right?
Oh yeah,
What,
yeah.
like what's the Jay-Z? Something happened to Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Oh, and MGK. I want to talk about both of those because I sent her, I got on Instagram and I was like, what happened? So please update the group chat.
Oh, I have some conspiracies to update. Don't worry. We will
Start, I
get
wanna
there.
hear.
Well, we need to finish our cruise. We need to finish our
What
New
else do you
Year's.
say?
Well, okay, if you guys have never been, hey, I love New Year's. I'm a New Year's girl.
Same.
One of my dreams, I love my birthday in August. Like, I could not imagine a better birthday. If I had to choose a second birthday, it would be New Year's Eve
Really?
because the entire world is celebrating, and I would mix it in my
But
mind
they're
and be
not
like,
celebrating you.
they are subconsciously, they are celebrating me.
Okay.
I would love a birthday on New Year's. I love New Year's. I love getting sparkly. I love all the champagne. I love how just like
We gotta
happy
talk about
people are.
sparkles.
Yeah. We really embrace our full-on vampire life. Oh, I need to order that. I'm so
Same.
glad Tanya sent us that link. Anyway, New Year's Eve on the boat was so fun. They had a huge deck party
Oh my God, it was
with
free champagne.
Yeah, free champagne everywhere. They didn't even care who was grabbing it.
Oh.
We were chugging bottles of champagne, and there was just music and there was lights.
Beautiful experience.
Yeah, there was
Wow.
flashing lights and there was sparkles everywhere. Everybody was so happy. Like it was such a beautiful thing.
Chills.
And we danced on the deck. I think they shut down the deck at like 1 or 1:30, and then we went to the club, and our whole group like went to the club, and it was so freaking fun.
It
Like
was amazing.
it was honestly one of the best nights of my entire life.
Yeah, I had a really great time. I did fully love the fact oh, before it even started, they were like filling up the champagne
Oh,
flute,
yeah.
and I saw that and I was like, this is my dream life.
Yeah.
Like there were just platters of cups and like stacked on top of each other.
And it was good
like,
champagne. It
yeah,
wasn't shitty
it wasn't
champagne.
fucking Cooks, thank
No.
God.
Yeah.
But they serve quality stuff,
Mhm.
and you could just grab whatever. I had like 4 or 5 free
I don't
glasses.
even know. I don't even know.
What a dream.
I remember we looked at them filling up all those glasses and we were like, we need to go get some pizza. Like we need to have some carbs in our system.
We went and got pizza for sure.
Yeah. But it was really, honestly, if you love.
The only thing I hated was it was very windy.
Yes.
And my hair was just going crazy on that deck party. I wish it wasn't windy.
Yes.
That would have been that's my ick from it. But everything else was just.
Oh my God, we were part of a huge conga line, which that was so funny. It like took up the whole length of the deck.
Was fun.
It was really like if you are a New Year's person, really consider a cruise for New Year's, specifically Carnival, because I'm a sewer rat. I do sewer rat things. Carnival's a little sewer ratish, but I loved it. But they really go like above and beyond for parties, and it was so fun.
Yeah, the music is good. The people are good. Everyone's there for a good time. It's not like uptight or anything like that.
And it's family friendly. Like the kids were there, the little kids were there, the older kids were there. Like it didn't feel like
Everyone
we had to separate. Yeah. And when we all went to the club, the little kids were so tired that we were like, hey, we'll put you to bed and then we're gonna go keep dancing. It was so fun.
I would say I had always heard that like cruises did like a fireworks show over the ocean, and that's why I always wanted to do a New Year's Eve cruise. But they I think it was like 3 years ago stopped doing that because like some environmentalists were like, that's not fucking healthy or something like that. And so I was hoping that there would be fireworks over the ocean because that would have just been like,
it would have been chef's kiss.
Yeah. But the party itself, that's exactly what I wanted to do a New Year's Eve cruise. Yeah. And it was so worth it. It was definitely more expensive for what we got, like the bang for your buck or whatever. Like it was more expensive than it should have been because it was a Christmas, New Year's thing. I will never take that back.
Yeah, no, it was more expensive than I was expecting, but it was so perfect and it was the funnest night and everybody had so much fun. Like everybody around you, not only, I mean, we always roll pretty deep in family vacations. We had like 16 people, but outside of our family, like everybody was just so happy. So happy.
Honestly, I was actually thinking about this. Everyone's always like, "Oh my gosh, how was your trip?" And I'm like, "It was good. It was a bit chaotic." And I was like, "But it seems so amazing." And I always have to remind them, like, we had 14 people. Some of them are under 10 years old.
Mhm.
Then we have like adults and like teenagers. But like, if you're traveling with that many people, there's always a level of chaos and confusion.
Always.
There's always miscommunication.
Herding cats.
When we went to Mexico for my vow renewal, we had like 22 people.
Mhm.
So I enjoy it. I will always want to travel like that forever. I love traveling with like the group,
Mhm.
but like goddamn.
It is a lot. We did like the day that we were in Nassau in Bahamas, we did like a tour thing, and every stop it
Oh
was
my
like
God.
it took way longer than it needed to because we had so many people.
Someone was always getting pissed at someone else, and then like they would be the ones being like, "Oh my God, you're taking too long at this stop," and then they would take too long at the next stop, and it would just be like everyone just like keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yep, yep.
Like,
It was fun though. It was fun. Like
Yeah.
overall, there was a little like pockets of drama, but overall, like it was a very beautiful
honestly
experience.
ready to book another trip though
Same.
for like the holidays.
Same.
We should start now.
Yeah, we should.
Don't wait forever like we did because you'll get fucked financially.
Yep.
For sure.
It's funny because we started talking about it in April, but we didn't book until the end of September. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. If you start talking about it in April and continue to talk about it, book it then. Do not wait because you will get screwed over.
And also I'm a travel agent, so let me book it for you.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. I don't think you've shared that.
Have I not?
I don't think so. You just got so nervous.
Just take it back. I didn't say anything.
If you need traveling,
if you need a hotel,
contact
you need a
Shelby.
cruise, I'm your girl. Anyway, now I'm stressed. Moving on. Diddy, MGK. Okay, for real. I came back from Vienna. I was like flying home or something. And on Instagram, all of a sudden I saw that MGK cheated on Megan Fox and she's pregnant.
Yeah.
What happened? Is it officially
That's
true?
literally all that's come out.
Did she leave him?
I don't know. He's disappeared and she's disappeared. There's been reports that they broke up because he cheated on her. She found things on his phone that she didn't like. Listen, they're both fucking weird as hell. They are, but both of them are so hot. Why would they cheat on each other?
Why did she cheated on him?
No, but I'm saying she's hot, he's hot. They're super hot together, even though they're weird. Why cheat on each other?
Here's the thing that's bothering me, because I listened to that podcast episode with him and what's her name, Bunny?
Yeah.
That's a good episode if anyone is like wanting to like dive into it.
A little bit of an MGK fan after
I was starting to be like, okay, he's changing, he's getting better, because there was a moment around New Year's Eve in 2023 that he like ate a glass bottle. And I remember sending this to Taylor being like, how can you be attracted to this man? He's a fucking freak and he's just disgusting. And then all of a sudden he started like going on the healing journey, and him and Megan were doing great, and he seemed to be turning it around. So I listened to the episode and I was like, wow, I'm really happy that he's changing his life. I can actually support him a little bit now. And then this comes out. This is why I don't know. This is why I don't believe in things.
We don't know. We don't know what happened. Okay. We don't know. And if he did cheat on her while she's pregnant and they wanted a baby so bad, he's written songs about miscarriage, all this stuff.
December 12th is the last like real article that's come out.
That's a month ago. That is a month ago.
This is when I was coming back too. And it's saying that she found material on his phone that was upsetting, and they split and they haven't seen each other since. That was in December. I don't know what's happened since then.
They've all disappeared. All of them are gone. No idea where they are.
But why would he do this?
I don't know.
And he's supposedly sober right now, right?
Yeah.
That's what he said on that podcast.
Yeah, the only thing that he does is smoke cigarettes. Which, that's a problem for me. That's a hard limit for me. No smoking cigarettes.
I'm not going to say anything right now to that, but what I would say is she's hot and she's like an angel of a person. I truly believe that she's like from another world.
Yes.
She's a special spirit, I believe. And he even said in that episode that I listened to that like she's changed his life and he's like on this whole journey. And then he does this. Like, I think he self-sabotaged.
I think he does have problems self-sabotaging. Let me get out my psychology degree. I think he self-sabotages.
My glasses. Here you go.
Psychology Taylor says, I think he has problems self-sabotaging. He has like a lot of childhood problems, a lot of childhood trauma, and we know that kind of
Okay, but,
contributes to a
like,
lot of things.
It's fucking Megan Fox.
I agree. I'm not into girls, but she's
Same.
fucking hot. She
Same. I'm
is.
not either, but like I would not give up on that girl.
Absolutely not.
Because she's also, I'm telling you, she's magic.
Yeah, and she is so intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then also something happened with Jay-Z.
Yeah. So
Spill the tea.
Jay-Z, I have to say, I despise Jay-Z and I even despise Beyonce worse. I do not understand why people love Beyonce so much. She is the fucking worst.
Rachel Hollis loves her.
I know, and I hate Beyonce. I'm sorry. I can't do Beyonce. Anyways, what has come out about the Diddy stuff is that, or with Jay-Z, that Jay-Z, so in the lawsuit, there was part of the lawsuit was that another celebrity was involved with a 13-year-old, raping a 13-year-old with P. Diddy, and a female was watching. It came out that Jay-Z was that celebrity. The female is suspected to be Beyonce or J-Lo. But so Jay-Z is named specifically in this lawsuit.
Arrested?
No, because then he went and listen,
He was at the Mufasa premiere.
I was just gonna say that. I love Disney. Literally wearing a Disney sweatshirt right now. I love Disney, but why the fuck a day after you get accused of raping a 13-year-old was he at this fucking premiere
Is
for
his
Disney?
daughter in the movie?
I think either him or Beyonce is the voice in the movie. But regardless, I would be like, I'm so sorry you're not invited. Like, you're a fucking freak.
Their PR person should have said you can't show up.
Yeah. It's disgusting. So then, I don't want to bring this up, but I'm going to because there's a huge conspiracy theory right now with the fires in LA, which if you're listening from LA, I feel for you guys.
Yes.
I'm so sad about these fires. They make me sick. And I'm not trying to like discount what's happening by bringing up conspiracy theories. This is just a hobby of mine. So there's a huge conspiracy theory that the fires were started to burn the tunnels that Diddy was using. And you'll notice a lot of celebrities' houses are being burned down that were involved with Diddy.
But can you burn the tunnels if they're underground?
Literally, everything in LA is burning. Everything is burning. And so there is
I heard this.
I just heard it the other night.
Wow.
There is a giant conspiracy theory forming that all of these fires have to do with Diddy. And again, I really feel for you guys in LA. I really do. I kind of believe it because there's been a lot of people that have been reporting that they are seeing people starting fires. Like, I don't know. And I really stand strong. TikTok's like on the verge of being banned next week.
About that?
I don't know because this is where I get all my info. TikTok's
Do you
on
think it'll happen?
Yes, I actually do.
Really?
I really do. So TikTok's on the verge of being banned next week. And I really think it's because
it brings light to stuff.
It brings a lot of light to stuff because this is where I find everything. Like people literally have videos of people setting fires in Los Angeles. And so I really firmly believe that's why they're trying to ban TikTok and they're trying to like blame it on China or whatever the fuck they're trying to blame it on. Because really, like anything,
the government here doesn't want it because it's
anything that has been coming out I've all found out from TikTok. Like, and people are actually filming this stuff, you know?
I was actually driving downtown. Like I was working this week and we were driving back from lunch and like this homeless person was being arrested like aggressively on the streets, but there was like 6 cops and like you could see people like literally with their phones out and I was like, wow, people really jump quick to get this, and that's how the information is spreading. Like actual fucking evidence is getting out there on TikTok. And honestly, when I want something now, I go to TikTok.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I know I sound like such a TikTok kid, but like I really am. I rely on TikTok for a lot of things. So like that's
TikTok get a thing.
like an iPad kid.
Yeah.
I'm like a TikTok kid. I use TikTok for a lot of things. I need a tutorial, go to TikTok. I need a conspiracy theory, go to TikTok. I need some news, go to TikTok.
I
Like,
actually saw a thing the other day talking about like it's actually rude to call kids like iPad kids because we're doing the same thing on our phones, but we're just like judging these kids because they have an iPad, and it's actually kind of ignorant. And I was like, I actually agree with that.
yeah, I
Because
can
like
see
I
that.
have nephews and Jaden, they're like older and they'll like call people iPad kids, and I'm like, you literally can't sleep without your phone on
Yeah,
TikTok.
it's true.
Like they're doing
The
the same
kids
thing,
are
but it's
having
on
a
a phone.
really rough time on the cruise, not having service on their
Yeah.
phones.
Yeah. I mean, I personally enjoyed it, but then there was parts of me where I was like, oh, I kind of miss being able to like post an update.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when I'd get service, I'd be like, dude, that's what we've been up to.
But you know what? People really do. Like, I had a lot of
People
people.
loved seeing my stuff. They'd be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I love your pictures. They were like waiting for my things.
Yeah.
I'm not a baby narcissist, or maybe I am, but people fucking tune in.
I know. I had a lot of people being like, I was so sad that you didn't post because I posted like a lot of funny things. Like, I feel like the world is just so heavy right now. Like, sometimes you just need a good laugh, you know?
Yeah. I
And
like to post on my story.
yeah, I love it.
And also, I haven't been posting the last couple of days, and I know people notice it. I feel that.
I've noticed
Again,
it.
baby narcissist. Did you notice?
Yeah.
I posted one day and I posted one thing and it expired and I hadn't had a story and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's
I'm
weird.
like, wow.
We are Instagram kids for sure.
I am. I actually am.
But yeah, that's my updates on the conspiracy theories. I haven't gotten too far into it because again, like I've been so busy, but yeah, that's my updates. I'm very curious. Again, though, if you are in Los Angeles, I really do feel for you guys. This fire is so sad. It's so sad.
I think that's what's been really interesting for me is like I came back from the cruise, everything was super chaotic, my life is super chaotic, and then the fires were happening, and our friend Lois lives in LA and she's like messaging in the group chat, and I was like, I didn't even fucking realize this was happening, and then I took a minute to like look into it and I was like, okay, this is actually really
It's
bad,
really terrible.
and it's really sad, and I feel so bad. I can't even imagine. But then it's also really hard because you know these celebrities, like there's so many celebrities that their houses burn. I'm like, God, you have so much money, you're gonna be fine. It's the people that don't have
Yeah.
that I
But then
and
like
the terror and the fear and like it's just spreading, and the firefighters, I feel so bad.
I know. I do. I thought that for a minute about the celebrities, and then I started noticing their posts, and I was
They're
like, these are
sad.
their homes. Like,
Yeah, and they have kids.
yeah, like Paris Hilton, her
Oh
post
yeah.
killed me.
I
I
mean,
was
she does
like,
live on a cliff overlooking the ocean, and I was like, oh, but her house is on the ocean. Like,
yeah,
she's gonna have, she still owns the property. She's
yeah,
gonna rebuild,
it's
but
just,
like,
it's
it
really
would be
a
sad.
heartbreaking thing. It truly is. It truly is sad. So I'm
It's
sorry, you
sad.
guys.
I feel really sad for them, but I'm also annoyed because I know everything's gonna work out fine for them, and then there's people that it's not gonna be fine.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. It's really crazy too when the Hollywood Mountain was burning because like we climbed that thing and that thing was on fire. Like
That
that's
mountain.
insane. But we were on top of that mountain and just to see it on fire, I'm like, damn.
Well, like that mountain's so close to our friend Lois's
Mhm.
house, and I don't know. It's just crazy. It really stresses me out because fires spread so fast and it's so hard to contain them. And there's so many of them there. And the wind, 100-mile-per-hour winds.
No,
That's insane.
It's insane.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, anyway, that's my
Okay.
thoughts.
So officially we're in 2025.
I'm so hot though. I need to open up this window. Are you hot?
Yeah, that's fine. Let me turn my heater off too. It's officially 2025 and it's only 69 in my house.
Wow, it feels like it's 100 for real.
Rose all day. It's officially 2025, and what we wanted to talk about today is a little bit of like reflecting on last year because we were going to do an episode. We actually promised that we were going to give one, and we even planned that we were going to record it. And then honestly, life has been fucked. So
Yeah.
we did not. We apologize for our absence. Appreciate you guys still being here. But what I want to normalize for 2025, these are thoughts I already had this week because this is like the first real week since we've been back to like life. I feel like I would say there's two things I want to normalize. First one, ordering a grande over a venti. I have always been a venti. Like, I just feel like I want that large coffee. Whenever I go get my Starbucks, I'm like, venti, 100%. I'm normalizing this year. We don't need the venti.
Yeah.
I don't need the venti. I half the time don't even like it by the time it gets to that part. It's almost the same amount of content.
Yeah.
So save your money, get the grande. That's my
I
first
love
thing.
that actually.
And it's less calories. So that's the first thing I'm normalizing.
Okay.
This is the other thing. I'm fucking passionate about this. Are you ready?
Okay.
So when we were on the cruise, people got very sick. People in our group got very sick with, we don't know,
Flu, COVID, don't know.
I don't know, people call it the carnival COVID. People were getting really sick. Jaden got sick, our friend Tanya got super sick, my nephew got sick, Jaden got super sick, Henley got sick. Hers was different than theirs though, so hers is something for sure different, but like, I don't know. What I wanna normalize, if you are sick, do not kiss people. I don't care if it's your spouse. I don't care. I don't care
I was not
that you're going to bed. I ask people this all the time because I've actually been annoyed about it for a long time, and people are always on the fence. Like, if you were sick, would you kiss Tony goodnight?
No, absolutely not.
Same. Wally's the opposite.
What? Really?
And he was getting sick, and he kept trying to kiss me goodnight and kiss me in the morning, and I was like, you're sick, you're sleeping, I'm out. Like, when he got COVID, when COVID was happening, I was like, put your fucking gloves on, don't touch me, stay over there. And I ask people this all the time, like, if your spouse is sick, like, is it okay if they kiss you goodnight and in the morning and stuff, like your normal thing? And they were like, oh, it depends. I'm like,
what does it depend on?
I'm an absolute no.
No,
and we need to normalize, like, if you are sick, you don't need to go through that routine. You should not be trying to spread it to your spouse.
I agree with that.
So that's the second thing that I'm very passionate about. Stop fucking trying to do that. Anyone that does that, you're crazy.
Yes.
So those are the two things I'm normalizing already.
I'm going to normalize something piggybacking off of that. We are the only 2 people in our group that did not get sick.
Facts. 14 people.
Yes. Normalizing working out every day, drinking your water, eating healthy, mental health, because we do those 4 things and we are the only 2 that did not get sick.
Here's another thing that I've noticed, and I think I maybe mentioned, I don't think I mentioned it on the podcast, but I've mentioned it in our friend group. I used to get sick all the time. Like, I was chronically sick. I was always having a sinus infection. I was always having something. I was living off of Alka-Seltzer and sometimes whiskey and honey before I went to work because that shit fucking works for your fucking throat.
It does, yeah.
And you know what was happening? I had a really toxic job. My environment was making me sick. I didn't realize it until I left my job, and I haven't been sick since I left that job. I think I've been sick partially one time, and it was like a slight sickness, and I was like, wow, it's been a long time. But I would hear people talking, and they would always tell me, like, my friend group would like be venting about their work and all of the toxicity that's there, and those bitches were getting sick, and they'd be like, oh, I'm just so run down, I'm so sick, and blah blah blah. Guess what? Your environment is exactly what's making you sick. So adding to your thing of what helps you not be sick, your environment, drink your water, be healthy, all of those things, but your environment also, your mental space, that shit keeps you fucking healthy.
It's true. It's true. So cheers to us for being the only ones.
And maybe it was the alcohol that kept us from not being sick, because we definitely drank more than everyone else, because we're alcoholics according to some people. Bless up. But I don't think we are. I think we're just really fucking smart.
Yep. So I think,
wait, I have one more thing.
Okay.
Let me get my notes back up. Okay, this is what else I wanted to say about 2025 and January. I would say earlier in our personal development life, we would hit December and we'd be like, all right, start reflecting on the year, start prepping for next year. We got to get our goals, we got to get our vision boards, and we were like really hitting it hard. I think that was what we needed at the time. And I've noticed that in the last 2 years, I think we mentioned it last year on the podcast too, January has been like the month where we calm down.
Yeah.
We go through the holidays. We're not like, oh, okay, let me get my year ready. Let me start prepping for the year. The last 2 years I've noticed we take January slow. And I think that's really fucking cool. And I think more people should acknowledge that, depending where you're at in your journey. If you need to hit the ground running January 1st, that's great. But the holidays are so chaotic.
They are.
And like, how are you supposed to deal with Christmas and everything else that you're dealing with? And then also like, let me have some personal space to reflect on my year. Who do I want to be next year? Like, that takes a lot of intentionality, and it's almost too much. So this is the other thing I want to like normalize slash share with you guys is like January is my personal get in the zone. This is when I'm like, okay, life is calming down. I'm ready to start prepping for 2025. So I started making my digital vision board. I am starting to kind of slowly reflect on the year. That's what we're going to talk about for the actual episode. But I want you guys to like not take it so seriously.
Yeah.
Don't make January so get in the zone, auto zone. But like don't take it so seriously. Like and I've seen some of the things on Instagram like talk about like January is like a slow, peaceful, mindful month. And I think more people should do that. I didn't appreciate that at the time. We were always like January 1st. Everything's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
And we'd always set ourselves up for failure. We
Yep,
always failed.
always. If you came to my winter solstice,
Oh, I didn't.
that is all what the winter solstice is
Really?
about, is allowing yourself to rest, because so the solstices and the equinoxes follow nature like very specifically. The solstice is when animals and trees and flowers and everything, they're asleep, they're resting. Like the animals are hibernating, the trees are dead, the flowers are like building underground. Like the winter solstice is all about rest. And
That's
that's
so
what I
cute.
was really trying to like drive home with the winter solstice, is like, you do not have to jump in all of your cards in one basket, or all of your eggs in one basket, whatever that saying is, and gung ho for January. Like winter is literally a time for rest. Like if you follow the path of nature, spring is when you start waking up and start really making changes. But winter, you want to let your body rest. You want to let your mind rest. You want to let your psyche rest. You want to just let things be how they are. Of course, like make little changes as you feel, like go based off of what you feel, but really this is a time to rest and reflect.
Okay, that's really cute. And I think that that's what most people are forgetting. It's like, and what I was saying earlier is like the holidays are so busy.
And we even took a low-key holiday this year and it felt just as busy as the other.
I came back and I was like, okay, now it's time for me to rest. Like I had 2 weeks off of work. Not a single ounce of rest happened. Like nothing that set me up for the new year. And then I started to like reflect and I was like, wow, it's been 2 years now where January has been, I remember saying on our podcast last year, like January, I'm just kind of like easing into it. I'm starting to think about what my word of the year is. Like I'm not putting that pressure on myself anymore in December. December already has so much.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really enjoying the fact that like now through January, I'm going to be like, all right, where are we going? Let's set ourselves up for the year. So that was the last thing I want to say about 2025.
Yeah, and just piggybacking off of that as well, if you are in the beginning stages of your self-development journey, this is going to be completely different for you. But like you and I have been on this journey for so long, we've already created these habits and these like this consistency in our life. Yes, like we're not making these big like workout goals or weight loss goals at the beginning of the year, because we are so used to having it be in our everyday life that we don't have to completely change everything.
That's one thing that I've noticed is like when I first started my journey, I was in that toxic, I need to work out on these days, and I would beat myself up, and I was like trying to be healthy and I was trying to be better and all these things, and I was setting myself up for failure and I didn't realize that I was. Whoa. Okay. Sorry, I was gonna pull something up on Peloton. This is what I was gonna pull up. I personally, because it's taken so long for me to get there, maybe I can't see on my app. I have like a 250 something week streak.
It's at the top.
Is it?
Yeah, because I have the same.
At the top?
Sorry, please hold.
I don't see this.
It's literally right at the top. Girl, what the heck? Okay, keep talking.
Anyways, what I was gonna say is like
230 weeks.
Mine doesn't show that.
Really?
It shows I have a 7-day streak.
Go to your home. Oh, that's so weird.
It's like something like 250 weeks. There would be times when I was first starting in like my journey where I was beating myself up. I was like, I need to eat vegetables. I need to only eat chicken. I need to do this. I need to do a detox. And oh my God, the fucking detoxes.
Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot about those.
That I have
You did a lot of detoxes.
Yes. And like, that was when I was like I didn't understand how all of this worked. And now I've reached the point where these are just like habits. These are things that I do. This is who I am. I don't even have to think about working out anymore. I just know, like today I didn't
Your
work
body
out.
craves it.
I
Yeah.
didn't work out today, and I'm like already like, I'm not guilting myself about it. It's more of like, dang,
I needed that.
I wanted that and I should
Mhm.
have made the time for it. And I think that's kind of like where this part comes to is like you can start in December if that's your journey. You can try and like push really hard beginning January 1st,
Mhm.
but be realistic.
Yeah.
Start building actual habits that are going to get you into that zone and so that it becomes natural and it's not this pressure and it's not this thing that you guilt and shame yourself into because girl, I have fucking lived that life and we
Same.
all are living that.
Mhm.
We've done it. I know some people are still doing it and some people are past that. That shit fucking sucks.
It
And that
does.
wears on you personally and makes you feel worse as a person.
It
I truly
does.
believe
I
that.
do too.
It's really sad. I feel bad for that version of me,
I do too.
honestly.
It's sad to like think back. Like I don't have the best self-esteem in the whole world, but it's definitely gotten way better than it used to. And when I look back and think of the way that I treated myself, I'm sad for her. I'm so sad for her.
One thing that like I've reflected on a lot recently, and also Wally and I have been, like talked about this, is like we all grew up with like parents or people that grew up in a different culture and they didn't have the skills, the resources, the tools to help us be better.
Mm-hmm.
And Wally and I come from broken families. And so for us, we've had zero people guiding us. And when I reflect on that and I see like, I look back at like 2019 version of me, I'm like, holy crap, like I had no clue.
Yeah.
And like I've been guiding myself through life and it's really sad and hard to like again, T-Talks. I think I need a T-Talks. I'm breaking out. Should I take this T-Talks? But you have no one to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's been interesting to me and hard. I think that's why our friendship has always been super beautiful to me, is because we can talk about it and we like research the internet and we're like, maybe this will work and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like I also like outside of that, like we don't have a lot of resources to like guide us.
Mm-hmm.
And not having guidance, I've noticed, is the worst thing for people growing up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I like with Jaden and him drinking or Henley growing up. I'm like, at least they have people that they're connected to that they can talk to because we
Mm-hmm.
didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been made it so that we went through some really shitty things.
Yeah,
And
really
still
terrible
now.
things.
Honestly, still
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, really terrible things. And I feel the same because obviously I don't have kids, but seeing my sisters with kids and seeing like you with kids and being such a big part of those kids' lives because you guys all keep me so involved. It's really, really beautiful to see like that they trust us.
Yeah, that they want to talk about
Yes, and the communication lines are so open between every kid in my life. And I just think that that's so beautiful that they are like, I trust that you're not going to judge me and I'm going to take this to you no matter how shitty it is,
Yeah.
you know?
For sure. I don't know why we got on this tangent.
I don't either. This is how this podcast goes. This is our group chat. This is literally our life.
On that note, transitioning to what we actually want to talk about. We want to reflect on 2024 personally and also for the podcast because hello, we're on a podcast.
Yeah.
Which I missed you guys.
I did too.
I'm so sorry that we totally fell off. We even said we'll still be on social media.
Yeah, we
were. But podcast wise, we fucking dipped out.
December was hard. December was really hard.
Once I went to Vienna, like life just stopped for me. And I was like posting some stuff on the podcast page, and then I came back and I had 1 week to prepare for Christmas, and I had not bought a single thing. And yeah. So thanks for still being here. We love you guys so much.
Yeah, my only excuse is I was in a statistics class and that was hell. So
And also you work in mental health.
Yeah, I work in mental health, and the holidays during working in mental health is a whole other fucking level.
That's really, I actually was thinking about this. It's really interesting to me that happens because like I guess I don't experience it that way because the holidays are usually like pretty magical for me.
Mm-hmm.
People that are putting in the work at the holidays,
Yep.
and they have traumas that come up because of the holidays, like that shit is deep.
You want to know
And
the
heavy.
biggest thing I've learned about working in mental health? There is so much family trauma
Around
and
holidays?
well, let me get
Oh,
there.
okay.
There's so much trauma within families, and there's such this expectation that people that the world puts on you around like Christmas that you have to show up for your family no matter what happens. And that's the root cause of so many people's problems around the holidays is the world expects them to show up at like this family gathering. It doesn't matter if their uncle sexually assaulted them. It doesn't matter if their dad sexually assaulted them. Like they're expected to show up because it's Christmas, and that's the basis of people's problems is
That
they
makes me
are
sick.
expected to
I
do
need water.
things. They are expected to do things that they don't want to do. And I don't know. It's really, I'm just going to go on like a little tiny rant here. It's really interesting working in like a psychedelic realm of mental health because the people that are there, they really want to change. It's not like with therapy, it's kind of 50-50. You can half-ass therapy for sure. Been there, done that in my past, not now. My therapy's been way too intense to half-ass, but in the past, you can 50-50 therapy.
Yeah.
With psychedelics, you cannot half-ass it. So the people that are there, they really want to be there. They really want to change. And so they're really trying to get to the root problems, and ketamine brings that up. So it's been a very interesting journey to see and hear people's perspectives.
I think that's what's interesting to me too, is like, because I don't come from like a huge solid foundation of family, it's been easy for me to disconnect around the holidays where it's like, I could see you or not see you. I'm in charge of my own life. I've always kind of been this way though, where I'm like, yeah, maybe you expect that of me, but fuck you. Like you guys, I've always had that rebellious, like, no, something's off here. And I don't have a huge family culture. And I think when you do have that, it makes it really hard because we've had friends in the past where it's like their life is their family.
Yeah.
Every time we hang out, their family was there. I was hanging out with their fucking mom. And I would just be like, this is strange for me. So I get that. And I think it's really fucking dope though that they choose to go through that rather than like just showing up to the events and then coming to you guys after the fact. I'm sure January, February is also got to be kind of heavy because people went to family experiences. No?
No, it's not as bad
Really?
as December. Like that November from December, I literally like
You were unwell.
I don't think my brain was fully functioning because I
Every
was
day.
dealing with so many other people's things. And even though like I do a shielding practice every morning, like I really try to hold myself away from those energies. It was so intense. Like the holiday season is so intense. In January, it's gotten a lot better. Like it's still heavy. It always is heavy. Let's be realistic, but it's not nearly as bad as before.
Interesting.
It's the fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown is a lot of people's, I mean, myself included. It's a lot of people's thing.
Honestly, if they have to like prepare themselves to go see somebody, if they've been through a traumatic experience, I like, because if I think about like my trauma, especially sexually, if I had to like prepare myself to go into that space, that would be way heavier than being through it and then coming back.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sexual trauma, man, that shit's rough.
Any trauma's rough.
Okay. Woo! Cleansing, all of that. Because that's heavy shit. These glasses are gonna annoy me. Aesthetically, that's annoying. Okay, we're gonna channel 2024. So
Okay.
put your mind in 2024. We are gonna reflect on 2024. Next week's episode after this one, we're gonna talk more to you guys about 2025 and the things that we're doing about 2025 or where our minds are, our visions, those types of things. 'Cause we always share with you guys our goals, where we're headed, give you tips, tricks, whatever for yourselves. If you're already past this, great. Maybe you already made a mistake because you went too eager in December and you have to reset in January. Whatever.
That's fine if
We'll
that's
give you
the
some
case.
more resources.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask these questions to us both
Okay.
personally, and then I also want us to answer it for the podcast because we
Okay.
do always talk about the podcast and like reflect on like how we felt about the year with the podcast. So
I'm scared. Okay.
first up, personally, what was your biggest or were your biggest accomplishments in 2024?
Yoga.
Personally.
Yoga.
Okay.
I have had the biggest growth this year that I've ever had in yoga. And my job has a lot to do with this as
Can
well.
we like make yoga universal though? Because it's not just yoga for you.
Yeah.
Like, what would you call that? Your holistic practice?
Holistic practice, probably, yeah.
Because it's more than yoga.
Yeah, it's helped me a lot in my personal life, but it's also helped me in work and in the yoga studio. I have made, I don't want to cry because this will make me emotional, but I have made the most beautiful connections with people and I've had the most beautiful conversations this last year outside of the studio, in the studio, at work, in my personal life. Like,
Your events.
with my events, I just had a patient text me this morning and like it has been truly something that I never expected my life to take this path, but the fact that it has, I just feel so grateful. And I don't know how to even explain the gratitude that I have for it and like how much it means to me, but I have just really created the most beautiful communication and lines with people. I don't know.
And yet you still have imposter
I
syndrome.
know. I know. I do. I do. My last week therapy session was all about my imposter. Well, it was about a lot of things, but a part of it was the imposter syndrome. And
No,
it's
I
weird.
agree with like what you're saying. I totally see that for you. Last year was huge for you
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
realm. For me personally, I don't feel this is who I am as an Enneagram 1. I don't feel like I had any big accomplishments. I will say that I did start the journey to I created my LLC for my real estate investment situation that I want to have. So I like set up my business entities and I think that that was super cool. But like professionally, I was in a big everything was shaken up. And so I don't know. I don't have anything like personally where I'm like, I feel really accomplished, but this is the Enneagram 1 in me. I know I accomplish things, but like,
Can I answer this for you?
sure.
You came back, you started coming back to yourself. And I think being like a front row seat in this journey has been so,
Actually, now that you say this, I
yeah.
have something.
Okay.
What by the end of the year, I've established that like I actually love myself
Yes.
and I care about her.
Yes.
And that has been new for me.
It's been beautiful to see.
I think going and seeing the witch doctor changed that for me 100%.
Mhm.
I 100% give Judy credit for this. And that's one thing, now that you say that, I agree.
Yes.
I recently decided that like I want to take care of myself in the future.
Yes.
And I never did that before.
You've never ever chosen
I
yourself.
know.
And especially
Something.
towards the end of the year, you kept continuing to choose yourself and like asking yourself, like, what would I, just me, want? And I thought
Yeah.
that was really beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so now same for us for the podcast. What was our biggest accomplishment? For me, fuck. We had big goals. We had big goals for the podcast. We set things up so great for this season 4.
Uh-huh.
And
Nuts.
shit never fucking works out for the
Uh-uh.
podcast. And I think part of it is like personally, we have a lot that we're always doing. And it makes it hard for us to like put time into the podcast. I have a lot of hope in our new futures that we'll be able to dedicate more time. We had a lot of guests lined up and things like that, and then they just
Fell
like,
through.
and then it
Yeah.
just like fell through the cracks. Which like we were so excited about these topics that Taylor interviewed all of these people. They were like so excited, and then like I think life just happened for people. So accomplishment wise for the podcast, I would just say that I think we really came back to it though. Like even though certain things that we wanted to have happen weren't there, like I think this has been our best season.
Yeah.
I
I was gonna say accomplishments for me was showing up. Like
Yeah.
we
you
always
really disconnected last season.
Yeah.
Because you were going through a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah. We always have showed up, no matter if it's bad, if it's good, if we're drunk, if we're not, like we always do.
Immature.
Yeah, we always do show up. And that's an accomplishment to me because this is real life. Like we could put everything aside and we could be as professional as we could be, and we could not,
Pretend.
yeah, we could pretend, but we don't. And I think that goes a lot to say because I don't want to show up here and be like, I am perfect. Everything is fine. Everything is great. I'm going to show up everywhere how I am, and no matter if that's good, bad, ugly, happy, like no matter what it is, I'm gonna show up, and we showed
Just
up.
like us showing up to the club and no one else did.
We always show up to rally
Because
for
we
sure.
all fam. Okay. Personally, which challenges did you overcome last year and how?
Oh my God.
I'll go first because I
Yeah.
have one off the top of my head.
Yeah.
challenges personally, work completely fucked. Everything got flipped upside down for me professionally. I went into the 2024 year being like, this is gonna be good. We just cleaned up all this stuff. Everything's in order. I made everything nice, beautiful, harmonious. And then February hit and they were like, we're changing your job, we're changing the structure, we're changing this. And I went through a whole entire restructuring personally and professionally where I had to like really, my ego was huge. Like profession is my life. And I had to really like go through a lot of emotions and feelings of like, okay, you're more than your profession. And I think that's where like the self-love and like starting to really connect to myself personally came. And I had to really, really work through that challenge. I was so fucking depressed. If I didn't have work, I felt like I had nothing. And I had to like be like, okay, who am I outside of work? And then I'd be like, okay, well, I don't have a lot outside of work. And that's what like transformed a lot of what's come up for me in 2024. So I would say that that was like my biggest challenge is my work being like, we're gonna, and I remember pulling my cards for 2024 and feeling like something was about to happen.
I do remember that now that you say
I
that.
didn't think it would be professional, but I didn't realize that my profession kind of halting would put me into a space where I dealt with my personal life. So
Yeah.
I would say like my profession challenge made me have to deal with my personal life, and that's what I would say
Yeah.
for myself.
Can you read the question to me
The
again?
question is, which challenges did you overcome and how?
Honestly, I think the opposite from you. I feel like my holistic thing, yoga, whatever, blew up out of nowhere. And I feel like that was very scary to me because I've never really believed in myself. I never have really believed that I was powerful. Like
You
even
changed jobs?
yes, I changed jobs, I changed professions, I changed my major, I changed everything. All these people were all of a sudden coming to my moon circles or to my classes, like looking for direction from me. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And if you guys know anything about me, I don't believe in myself a lot. I don't believe in the power that I have. And when I first started seeing Judy, I do remember her saying, like, you are so powerful. And I'm like, what the fuck ever? Like, I've always just
You're
kind
crazy.
of I don't know how to even explain it. I don't even know how to explain it. But my therapy journey has been so intense this past year. Going to school has been so intense because it's caused me to look inside a lot, and my yoga journey has been so intense. So I feel like mine's opposite of you is all of these opportunities, all of these things were coming to me, and those were very challenging to overcome.
I don't think either of us actually answered how we overcame it, so I'll start first with mine. Honestly, I accepted it for what it was and I grieved. I grieved a lot and I felt a lot. I let myself go through all of the emotions. There's this thing that we talk about professionally with like the change curve, and you could put that personally or professionally, but there's like all of these different stages that people go through when change is happening. And I honestly think that I allowed myself to just go through it. I stood up for myself. I fought for people, which is what I always do professionally. And I fought for my position and I fought for these things. And then I allowed myself to grieve and be sad and angry and stressed and fear and confusion. Like I went through each stage of those. And I think that's how I came through it. I overcame them, and I kept like being like, okay, should I find a new job? And I would start looking, but I like leaned into myself. I'm big on like if my gut feels right or that my intuition feels right, I will make a decision. I will do stuff, and I would look for jobs, and I'd be like, I would open it and I'd be like, immediately the energy fell off. I'd be like, nope, I am meant to still be here right now. Like I am meant to go through this change. I'm meant to go through like these ups and these downs. Like something about this is still good for me. I'm going through it. And so I really think I just allowed myself to overcome it by being present, allowing myself to feel and go through the fucking hard emotions, which is so unlike me.
Yeah.
So fucking unlike me. But I think that's how I overcame them.
Yeah.
What about you?
My overcome was therapy. My therapist has truly been my lifeline.
Brian.
I love Brian. Honestly,
I don't even
he's
know
the
him.
best. Honestly, he's the best. So therapy and trusting myself, like exercise has been a lot for me this last, especially towards the end of the year. Never thought I would enjoy running. I actually really fucking love running. It's a
Get that
very
treadmill and you'll love
yeah, it's
it.
been a very like mind clearing. I've lost 42 pounds, so that's so exciting. But yeah, exercise therapy and honestly you. Like you've helped me so much because you are such like a professional business lady. And anytime I've doubted myself, you like were instant like do not think like this, like cut it
Yeah.
down so fast. And you were like, I will help you with whatever you need, and you've really showed up for me. So I'm gonna stop because I'll cry, but thank you.
Okay. Podcast wise, challenges, how we overcame them. Honestly, I don't think we had a lot of challenges this year.
Yeah.
I think, fine tuned a lot of stuff that we were dealing
Mhm.
with. There's still challenges that, because I'm a perfectionist, that I want to change. But I'm also open to the fact that, like, we're not in a space to dedicate financially or personally. We're just showing up for the people that want to be here. We really genuinely believe that we have good stuff to share.
Yeah.
And I think that we had no real challenges.
Yeah, I feel like we have a lot of people that listen. We have a lot of listeners actually, and
Yeah.
just a lot of people don't follow us on Instagram or they don't rate review, and that's fine. Like if
But
it
we have a
helps
lot of
you, we
listens.
do have a lot of listens, and if that helps you, I love that for you. And I love that for us. Like I'm happy that we're able to help you through that. So I don't feel like there's any challenges. I don't know. I feel like we're just doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. We've been doing this since we were 30 years old, and you've been through a lot with us
Oh
in
my
these
God,
last
was it
almost 5
30?
years.
It was 30. It
It
was
was,
after our 30th birthday.
yeah,
Dang.
it's been a lot. So you guys have been through a lot of changes with us.
Yeah, we're up and down, girl. Okay. What brought you the most joy in 2024?
I mean, same thing, the yoga stuff. I find a lot of joy in helping people heal. I really do. It's awakened this purpose inside of me that I didn't know that I had that I find such a joy in, even though it's so fucking hard and some days it's so exhausting. When I see people come out on the other side, I am your biggest cheerleader.
You do have a safe space for them.
And I'm real quick before you answer, I have this client of mine who's become one of my really good friends that's been coming to yoga for, I think she just hit her year mark. And the amount of change that I've seen in her has been so beautiful. Like from physical changes to just doing a plank to mental changes, I am just so impressed. And that's what I mean is like, I see people at their lowest and I see people coming out on the other side, and I fucking love that shit.
For me, I will be very honest with you guys. I have not reflected on 2024 until literally this fucking moment. There's been some reflection like slowly, but like these questions are fucking deep.
Yeah.
Um, my biggest joy of 2024, I would say, is I genuinely connected more with Jaden.
I was
Like
gonna say that for you.
that's been the biggest thing that I can like that's straight in my mind is like he's transformed, like he's getting older, he's 19, we talked more, we had more connection, and everything else, like there's I could go on some tangent with someone else, but like or something else, but 2024 I felt like Jaden and I really connected the most, and that would be my biggest joy.
It's right. I agree. And I was gonna say that. If you didn't say that, I was like, bitch, I'm answering for you because if you guys don't know, Jaden is her nephew that she adopted when he's 11, 12, 10. And it was a rocky road at the beginning. And
Fucking sucks.
seeing the love and the trust that he has in you,
Shit got hard.
it was so hard.
Yeah.
And now though, he loves and trusts you so much. And I've known him since the day you adopted him, since before you adopted him, and to now, and the transformation has been,
It's been great.
it's been beautiful.
I would say for the podcast, my greatest joy is honestly that we both love it again.
Mm-hmm.
I think we went through a phase where like we would keep going through phases where one of us was more invested than the other, and it was like kept flipping. And there was so much tension, and then we had this other fucking fucked up friend that honestly, I'm saying it for what it is, fucked up friend that joined our podcast that shouldn't have been on our podcast, but we felt obligated because that's what girls do. We just fucking allow people to enter our space. She shouldn't have been on our podcast to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll accept it, and it is what it is. But that ruined the vision and the dream that we had of our podcast. And I think it fucked things up for a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And I would say 2024, we both genuinely loved the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Especially
And
the
we
last
showed up.
season.
We both showed up
Yeah.
each time.
Yep.
And we found like our groove. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
I
I
love that.
agree.
Cute. Okay, next question. What did you learn about yourself this year? Last year, 2024.
I learned that I have a lot of power, and that, I mean, I've already said it's a little scary, but like
You've learned it, but you don't
accept it
Accept it yet.
necessarily. Yeah. I've
Okay.
learned that I'm pretty powerful and that I can really create a lot of magic.
You are magic.
Yeah.
I learned
MGK sleep with me. Just kidding. Just kidding. That's a Megan Fox.
baby.
I had to make a joke because shit was getting too intense. I had to make a joke. I'm just kidding, but not.
I would say the biggest thing. Was that your car?
I don't know what that was.
I would say the biggest thing that I learned was my ego with. Sorry, I gotta fix my bob on my head. My ego professionally, like I needed that to get rocked.
Yeah.
Like that I learned, like, I mean, I still have a big fucking ego professionally, but I needed that to rock my world so that I could lean more into myself because I have reduced myself so much personally, but then also hit it professionally that I never actually took care of Shelby. Shelby professionally and personally are always different, and my world professionally getting rocked, I had to like actually face both of them. My ego professionally was 100% my scapegoat, and I would hide behind that because I fucking could rock that shit all day long. And then it ended, and I was like, oh, you're actually a person. Who is this person?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say was like the biggest thing I learned.
Yeah,
It was
I agree
beautiful.
with
It
that.
sucked fucking ass, but it was beautiful.
Yeah, I agree with that.
For the podcast, the biggest thing I learned about the podcast, it's still fucking hard to have a podcast.
It is
Oh
so
my
hard.
God.
It's so hard.
Like
So much harder than we ever expected. If you guys don't know, I think we talked about it. Like this podcast was like a drunken idea that we had one night that we were like, we really like put work into ourselves. Like we need to share this. We have a lot to say. We love to talk. We had no idea that drunken wine night, how much work it was.
I personally don't love to talk, but I do love to share wisdom. I love when someone's like, I'm struggling. What's your advice? I have a lot of good fucking advice.
You
I
do,
actually should
yeah.
be a therapist sometimes. I think that I have good intuition. I have good guidance. I don't actually genuinely like to talk to people, but I knew that I had wisdom to share. What I would say too is like what I learned about the podcast, and I think I accepted it this year. Most successful podcasts, they already have a platform.
Yeah.
If you are just like a nobody like us in Utah, like the world is so fucking big. Genuinely. If you don't already have a social media presence, you don't already have something that's giving you a bunch of followers, you weren't on MTV, you weren't on whatever,
It's true.
it is nearly impossible
Mhm.
to have a successful podcast. And I give us fucking kudos for still doing it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, unless you're famous, your podcast genuinely isn't successful. You don't make money.
Yeah.
We pay for everything that we do for our podcast. And I love it.
Yeah. Because the joy in the podcasting is the messages or the like people physically
Yeah, the
saying to
connection.
me.
One of our best
Yeah.
friends came from the podcast.
Exactly. Like Tanya, shout out to you. If we never did this, we would have literally never met Tanya. And I don't know what life would have
That's
been
so
like. I
sad.
know that's gonna make me cry.
Ew.
But honestly, the messages that I get on Instagram or the text or the people, like the things that people say to me in real life, that's where the meat of the podcast is. I don't need fucking followers on Instagram. I don't need fucking reviews. I don't need any of that. I need the real physical connections that I'm knowing that I am helping you in some way.
I totally agree. And like when I look at our stats and like our actual listeners, I'm like, damn. Because if you look at Instagram, it's shit.
Yeah.
If you look at our actual listens, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We have people listening all over the world.
Yeah. So shout out to you guys.
Shout out to me. Just kidding. Okay. Who made a positive impact on your life in 2024?
Brian, my therapist.
Yeah.
And you, of course. But outside of you, honestly, I stumbled upon Brian on Google when I was looking for a new therapist, and he has saved my life. He is truly the best therapist. He has the best insight.
So good for you.
He has been such a fucking blessing in my life. I fucking love Brian. And to think I almost didn't go with him because I was like, it's weird to go with a male. Something in me told me I need this dude, and I fucking needed this dude, and I love him. Not in like a sexual love way. I love him as a spirit, as a person. He has truly saved my life.
For me,
Me.
you always, like, literally forever and always, you'll be my like,
Stop. I can't. I've had too much wine to hear these things.
I want you guys to know that people think we're codependent. We're not. You genuinely will always be a positive person in my life because you're a supportive ass queen. Stop. But like for real, like you will always be top of my list. You show up, you show out. We're all fam in the club.
Thank
And
you
you-
for the joke.
And you've been around, you know me, and you accept me. Outside of that, I would genuinely say like my coworkers have been a huge positive light in my life because shit got fucked professionally. And I've made so many beautiful connections from my past job or my current job, and I've leaned on them all in different pieces. I have a best friend from my past job. I meet with her all the time. I have another friend, he lives in Texas. I still talk to him. He's helping me all the time. I have new coworkers at my new job, and like these people really helped remind me like you are fucking magic. You are so powerful. What you're bringing to the table is always gonna outshine anybody's bullshit. And like, I don't know, my work is my fucking life, guys.
It is. It is. And you're a badass at it. So
Positive impact podcast wise. I don't know. I think our listeners really you already
yeah.
said it. Like
Yeah.
there's dedicated people that I know genuinely love listening to our podcast. They're not leaving negative bullshit reviews because they listened to one episode that they didn't agree with. And there's some people I know listen that they're like on the side like yapping like me. I don't give a fuck about you guys. What I care about is that you still tune in because you care about us and you want to know what we're going through and you do genuinely get messages from us. But there's some core people that listen and they genuinely are like, damn, you guys are doing something great. And they'll message us, they'll say stuff, and I'm like, thanks, guys.
Yeah. I just need like a little ego boost to keep my fire going. So yeah, shout out to you guys.
Honestly though, sometimes we do need that.
Yeah.
Like, it's real fucking hard showing up to the podcast.
Yeah, it is.
We record every Thursday, no matter what is going on in life. And sometimes we'll talk for a minute of like,
sometimes we'll be bawling for a minute before we record and we're like, shit, we gotta get this together. Like we need to record and go to bed. Like
sometimes it's so late and my alarm goes off to tell me it's time to bed.
Yeah, true.
Okay. If you could travel back to the beginning of 2024, what advice would you give yourself?
Ooh, these are really good questions. I would say believe in yourself. Stop doubting yourself and just believe in yourself.
For me, oh my I remember specifically being like 2024 is gonna be fucking fire. I felt it. I had so much energy.
We should go back and listen to our podcast episode at the end of 2023.
Oh, I remember my stories being like, I have so much fun. Like, this is gonna be the year. I remember saying that. If I could go back and give myself some advice, I would just say, it's exactly my word. My word was embrace. I came up with the word embrace, and I would just be like, remember, you're embracing whatever it is. And like that really showed up for me. I don't know. We picked that in December.
Yeah.
And I did have to lean on it a couple of times, and I just feel like, remember your word of the year. That's the advice I would give.
That's true. My word of the year was intentional, and I went into every situation with intention.
You did.
I did. Yeah.
Podcast wise, advice, I would just say you have big goals. and it doesn't always depend on you because we had so many guests.
I know, so many, and they all
So
fell
many
through.
guests
Yeah.
and topics and like so many things that we were like, this is fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then it left, and I would just say, you can only rely on yourself.
Yeah. Just keep showing up is what I would say. Podcast
Yeah.
wise, just keep showing up.
Keep doing what we like want to do. Because there's been plenty of times where we're like, should we keep podcasting?
Mm-hmm.
Still
many,
sometimes wonder that.
so many,
Still
yeah.
asked that like a week ago. Like,
Yeah.
Are we still podcasters?
Still even asked that today, I think.
Okay. Last question. What was your biggest career accomplishment for 2024?
I mean, probably the moon circles were my biggest accomplishment. People really, really fucking showed up for those. And the same people over and over, and they would bring their friends, or they would bring their sister, or they would bring their mom, or they would bring their husband when they could. And that was probably my biggest thing, because that is really my heart and my soul goes into those moon circles. Like, I fucking love the studio more than anything, but those moon circles are something else. So,
Yeah, I recently started witnessing them. That shit's fucking wild.
yeah.
Literally.
One day, if you come to the moon circle, Shelby will be in that circle with us, screaming our head off during breath work. One day, I fully believe that.
I can 100% guarantee now. I will fucking bet $1,000 right now.
Okay.
Delete this episode.
One day you will be in that space that you are like, I am ready for this. One day.
I can guarantee you'll never do it in a group like that.
Maybe not in a group, but one day you will do breath work you just release everything.
So we need to clarify for.
Oh, we already shook, bitch.
No, for
$1,000.
You said you'll be in that moon circle. I will not be in the group moon circle. I already know that.
Okay.
So we need to re-clarify. I will do the breath work one day.
Okay.
Wait, what are we shaking?
I don't know. I'm like, okay, $1,000.
I can promise I will never sit in the group moon circle.
But they are powerful.
They are powerful. When I sit there, because I recently started attending, it's emotional. I can like feel energies, and that shit was fucking heavy. I like started crying for some people. I felt some people's pains. Like, it was a lot.
It is a lot.
Personally, for me, I will never do that in a group setting. That will never be.
Well, one day if I gotta do a private thing for
I would do a private.
What
I would do private any day.
Okay, let's do it right after this. Just kidding.
No. But I will never do the group one. People that are vulnerable enough to do that. Vulnerable is actually a word for me in 2025. That's actually gonna be something I share next week's episode. But you get a spoiler.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, that's my word for next year, and I could never be that vulnerable. I applaud these fucking people.
Honestly, I need to take a second before you answer. And really, I know that a lot of our listeners are Moon Circle attendees. It does take some freaking balls to show up. It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
They fucking scream.
Yeah.
They fucking scream, guys.
It's a very intense space to be in. It surely is. And Shelby was like, I'm going to do your content. And I was like, okay, like, you don't know what you're signing up for, because it is a very intense space. And if you show up and do that, truly kudos to you, because it's hard. It is hard.
Honestly, what I noticed and what I'll share is like, women carry so much.
Yes.
I already know that. Like, I'm a closet feminist. Women carry and do so much.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone has so many deep traumas. Like Taylor talked about that earlier about like her mental health work. There's so much deep shit that people have been through. And when I was sitting there and feeling them scream, I was just like, the release, I could feel their energy releasing. I could see it, I could feel it. And I was just like, I love this so much for them. But the fact that they could do that with people laying next to them, that's a level of vulnerability that, like, maybe I highly doubt it. I will ever be there. I'm a private person, unfortunately, because I have a podcast. And I'm very genuine when I say everything. I could never do that next to a person. And I like applaud these women, because like women go through so much shit, and these women are just like,
here is everything.
Hear me roar. And I think that's dope.
Yeah, I agree.
They're dope as shit.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, what was my biggest accomplishment career-wise? Not quitting.
I agree
Honestly,
with that. Yeah.
not ignoring my intuition. Like, I genuinely was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I've never been rocked this way professionally. And I chose to stay. I chose to be like, something is telling me I need to stay. My biggest accomplishment is not quitting and just moving on and being like, well, I can make more money, it's fine, like whatever. I genuinely leaned into myself and I like, it's like, no, I'm meant to be here. Something is keeping me here.
Mhm.
And I think that's a big accomplishment because
For sure.
I fucking would love more money. I would love more professional fulfillment. But I allowed myself to be like, nope, now is not the time to focus on your profession. You've done that for the last like 13 years. You're gonna focus on yourself.
I love that.
Biggest podcast accomplishment?
Showing up every day because 2024 was really fucking hard. It really was hard.
Y'all are in for a treat next episode. I already know.
Oh
I'm about to share some shit.
Oh shit.
And
Shit.
2024 rocked us.
Yeah, it did. It did, and it was really hard to show up and act like everything was
I
okay.
don't think it did like everything was okay.
Yeah.
We definitely have to like channel an inner thing of like, we want
Mhm.
to talk about this topic because A, we've been through it, and B, we know people are going through it, but
Mhm.
trying to like put your own personal shit aside
Mhm.
to record an episode about personal development or self-development, anything like that, like
It's
it's
a
hard.
lot. It's a lot. So just showing up week after week was really fucking hard.
I would say my biggest accomplishment was, I know what it was. This is very Enneagram one of me. My biggest accomplishment, I would say, for the podcast is I kept the structure
Yes.
of our podcast templates that we were posting on
Yes.
social media, and everything was scheduled and it went in order every single fucking time.
Mhm.
And that made my heart happy.
You are the content queen. I am the content.
Chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. Listen, this is why we work so well together because we have different strengths and different weaknesses. Content is my fucking weakness. I
Yes.
hate it. I'm not creative. I hate it. I
Literally
hate it.
today when you were scheduling all the things on the calendar and I got the invitations, I was like, I should have scheduled these.
Really?
You don't even capitalize things.
Really?
One word. Let's just give an example. I would say it's Salt Lake Moon Circle. If
Uh-huh.
you're ever giving a title, each word is capitalized. And Taylor's like salt was capitalized, and then it was like moon circle or something like that. And it was just like aesthetically, everything visually.
I'll change those for you so it's okay in your
I'm
calendar.
just gonna start doing this in our future,
Okay.
business wise, where it's like I create
This
that.
is exactly why we're business partners.
You speak and I make it happen.
Yeah.
Because I received those and I was like, oh.
You didn't even say anything. That was like 2 hours ago.
I almost did, but I was like, honestly, it's fine. Just ignore it. It's fine.
I'm gonna go back in a few hours and change. That's so funny. I am chaotic with this stuff. I am,
God,
and
you
it's
are.
fine.
All of your posts, I'm always like, it's fine. I love her for that. That's why we work well together. One day I'll take over all the business things. And
That's so funny.
She'll just be this angel spirit that like creates beautiful experiences, and I
We'll do all the
everything calm
stuff. Honestly, you guys, the first mood circle she came to, she had a fucking list of things,
my
and
God.
I was like, oh my God, I never even thought of that. Like that thought literally never crossed my mind, but this is why we work well together. It's true. We balance the scales of each other heavily.
It's a personal and professional life commitment that we're in.
Let's just get married.
Codependency queen. Anyways.
Oh God.
I can't wait for next week's episode. I'm happy we're back.
Me too.
Is there anything else? I think that's it.
I think that's it until next week. I have a lot to say clearly today.
I have so much to talk about next week for 2025. And I hope you all looking forward to us being back.
We love you guys so much. Do all the things.
outro, listen to that and
Yeah.
it will tell you what to do.
Don't stop it because it's cute.
Okay, bye.
Bye.